DC is officially shutting down the streetcar on March 31st, ending a decade-long experiment that never scaled. Let's break it down. The DC Streetcar opened in February of 2016 along a 2.2-mile corridor on H Street and Benning Road. Total construction cost landed around $220 million. That's $100 million per mile. And here's where it gets brutal. Daily ridership averaged just 2,000 to 3,000 passengers per day. On top of that, the system cost about $8 to $10 million a year to operate. Here's what's interesting. This was never supposed to be a 2-mile line. DC's original plan called for a 37-mile streetcar network across multiple corridors, but by 2018 expansion stalled, and by the early 2020s it was effectively dead. So what happens next? Immediately after March 31st, bus service replaces the streetcar along the same corridor, likely increasing frequency and flexibility at a fraction of the cost. The streetcars themselves are expected to be auctioned or transferred, similar to how DC handled the circulator fleet. The actual rails are embedded directly into H Street's roadway, which means removal isn't simple. This likely requires roadway demolition and reconstruction, lane closures across a major corridor, and utility relocation and coordination. Translation: this ain't happening quickly. Most likely scenario, the tracks remain in place for years, potentially into the late 2020s until a full corridor redesign is funded. Those overhead wires, those could be repurposed for future electric bus or trolley bus systems, which DC is targeting in the 2028 to 2029 timeframe. Now let's talk real estate. H Street has been marketed for years as a fixed rail transit corridor, which typically commands a pricing premium over bus-served areas. So the question becomes, what happens when that narrative disappears overnight? Does demand soften, or has the development momentum already locked in the value? Because one thing is clear, DC just spent a whole lot of money building rail only to replace it with buses less than a decade later. So what do you think? Will you miss the streetcar, or are you happy to see it go? Drop your thoughts and give us a follow. Bye for now.